Alright, this is just me making a quick video. I don't expect anyone to watch this. It's an amateur video. Just wanted to talk about my brief ideas on the science of Avengers, the science of the Infinity Gems, for example. The space, time, soul, mind, power, and reality. My idea over the space gem is that it can manipulate gravitational inertial forces and thus can contract space. As far as achieving faster than light travel, if it could reach the Planck energy and manipulate the extra dimensions predicted in string theory, it can uncurl these dimensions, expand them into our own three-dimensional universe. It could cause our universe to, in essence, crumple up, shortening the distance between two far apart points in space. Then you could travel across it at slower than light speeds because the distance has been shortened, and then you could crumple those extra dimensions back up. Or it might be that in these extra dimensions, the light speed constant is different. So if you could change the topology of space, make the dimensions you would have it different, then you could raise the speed of light in a specific corridor of space and get to where you want to in a convenient amount of time. The time gem would be a way to manipulate negative energy, negative gravitational energy. This would allow you to warp space in such a way as to create warp drives, wormholes, Krenz-Nikov tubes, and Templar cylinders. These are particular gravitational fields, or a curvature of space-time, also called a metric, that expands space at faster than light speeds and can transport anything within that metric at the same speed. So you would have faster than light travel. And under special relativity, faster light travel and time travel are the same thing. So you would also have backwards time travel as well. And in the context of slowing down or speeding up time, gravitational time dilation with very strong gravitational fields would allow you to slow down time. And if you could create negative gravitational fields or negative gravitational energy and they were strong enough, you could speed up time. So yeah, you'd be able to manipulate time. The soul gem makes no sense to me because it makes no sense that there's something in space that can affect the things around us that we can't see or detect. In order to communicate with something, it has to be two-way. It can't just be one way. So the idea that there's some soul or astral body that is in some alternate plane of existence that can affect us, but we can't affect it, that goes against the very essence of science. There's nothing outside the universe that can affect the universe. If it can affect the universe, it's in the universe. So the soul gem makes no sense. The mind gem, telepathy, telekinesis, in my mind, would be manipulating gravitational inertial forces at the very least, if not all the forces, to allow you to move matter around. And if you could create strong gravitational fields, then you could accelerate matter and you can energize matter particles and photons to extreme energies and allow you to transmit them over large distances. So you could control matter and energy, move things around, speed them up, slow them down, and communicate this way as well. You could have, say, a gravity beacon where you can create a coherent beam of gravitational radiation, just like a coherent beam of electromagnetic radiation is a laser and can be focused over much larger distances than ordinary light. A coherent beam of gravitational radiation could be focused over much longer distances than just ordinary gravitational radiation that's moving in all different directions and isn't focused. The next up is the power gem. This is similar to the mind gem, but I think it would just be the mind gem on a larger scale. If you could reach the Planck energy, which is the highest possible energy that can be achieved based on our current understanding of physics, then what you could do is at this energy, space-time geometry, reality itself becomes unstable. You would have complete understanding and control over all fundamental interactions, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak forces, and all particles. You could, say, create positive gravitational fields, negative gravitational fields. You can neutralize the strong force. You could manipulate gluons. You could create all particles. You could transform particles from one form to another. So you could create photons, electrons, neutrinos, stuff like that. It would just be on a larger scale, so the scale of the universe. So you could affect matter and energy on, say, on universal scale. So not just the energy scales of, say, asteroids or moons or planets, but of stars, of solar systems of galaxies or galaxy clusters. You'd be able to manipulate all types of energy: gravitational, thermal, electromagnetic, radiant, rotational, and all exotic forms of energy, hypothetical dark matter, dark energy, tachyons, so tachyonic energy, stuff like that. Yeah, and my idea of the reality gem has something to do with string theory, which posits that on the smallest scales there are extra dimensions of space, and these dimensions contain strings, which are tiny packets of vibrational energy. They vibrate at different frequencies, which give all these different frequencies gives rise to all of the different particles that we observe in nature. One frequency is a photon, another is an electron, another is a neutrino, another is a neutron, and so forth. The way the math works out, it turns out that there could be a vast multitude of such dimensions, different dimensional shapes, and the shapes of these dimensions constrain how the strings vibrate. If it was possible to change the shape of these extra dimensions, then you could change what frequencies the strings undergo. You could change what particles and forces exist. This would mean that you would change the physical constants of nature. You would change the physical laws. You would change the laws of physics. One particular shape corresponds to our universe. Another shape, with the light speed constant, could be different. The gravitational constant could be different. There could be no electrons or no neutrons or no neutrinos or no weak force, or the strong force has an unlimited range, or is repulsive, or is attractive and repulsive, or there's no such thing as proton decay, or protons and neutrons have the same mass, or quarks have smaller components to it, or they're unstable, or something like that. Every single one of these different shapes, which get up to be 10 to the 500, corresponds to almost every possible variation to the known laws of physics imaginable. If you could create all of these shapes, you could create all of the different variations to the known laws of physics and achieve anything. You would in essence have reality warping. In other words, traveling faster than the speed of light is not impossible. It's impossible in our universe based on our physics and the shape which exists in our universe. If in a different shape, in a different universe, you can travel faster than the speed of light, and so on.